Thank you, Stephen. We're going to move on to Anna now. Anna is working in the tourism and hospitality media areas, and I think probably more of a challenge for that sector. How do you maintain contact with your customers, clients and suppliers? How do you maintain interest in tourism when people just can't move around, can't go anywhere? So Anna, how have you kept in touch with customers, clients and suppliers?
Hello, thank you, Jim, and good afternoon, everyone. So I will firstly introduce a little bit more about myself. I lived in the UK for about more than 3 years, and I have been working in this company in China for nearly 6 years. And in the company, we provide visual experience and solutions for projects in resource parks and theaters, including like tourism performances, ceremonies and events, TV programs, which require us to travel a lot. My role involves like the development artistic strategies, supervising and executing both indoor and outdoor theatrical projects with crossover of like new technologies and visual performances. So back to the question, like how can we keep in touch with the customers, clients, or the suppliers? Firstly, we worked from home during the whole February and have been using the app of WeChat Work or similar platforms as our main tool of communication with colleagues or clients. It has been used not only for our day-to-day method of communicating, but also covers the vast majority of our admin and web meetings, such as keeping daily records of employee health status, which ensure the government that the company is in good condition to work. And we officially resumed work in March, like basically the whole China resumed work in March, and have been sorting out the status of projects at hand. This has involved domestic traveling to rehearsal and construction sites, and has the presentations with clients and government parties. It has been quite strict with health declaration to be filmed before travel is granted, with masks on and with the gloves warm all the time during the journey. And although there are many restrictions and procedures now, but in general, things are starting to get back to relatively normal. I can talk a little bit more about the health code system in China. So we have this new health code system run on Alipay and WeChat platform, which is very useful at this period. So the code designation is based on our health data and travel history. The codes are specific to each city or province, but generally people given a green code are allowed to travel relatively freely, like the one I have, so it's green. And yellow code indicate that the holder should be in home isolation. And a red one says that the user is confirmed the COVID-19 patient and should be in quarantine. So this code is really like making sure that we can travel safely and to control the virus spreading. And the next I want to talk about is to the customer side. It's obvious that in China, in crowd activities that has like and
okay, Anna, we're beginning to experience some difficulties. Yeah, we're beginning to lose you. That's a pity. It was just getting really interesting, what Anna was saying about the travel and the apps, the WeChat green codes. I was getting really,
Chinese
really
style.
interested in that. I think
Hello,
that's
hello.
because, hi,
I'm
Anna.
back.
Yeah,
Hi.
Anna, but yeah,
Sorry, a
sorry.
bit disconnect.
Yeah, okay, carry on.
So yeah, okay. So I was talking about the all crowd activities that transformed it from the traditional formats. And for example, those Chinese singing reality show, for example, called Singer, which is quite popular. And they start film, like crowd filming with singers from different cities and countries. And like even a singer, he recorded and performed his show in his own bedroom. To increase audience interaction, the production team even changed the audience seat to on-site LED screens and invite the audience at home to send in messages using their phones, which would appear on the screen while recording. And also there are more than 1,000 Chinese attractions are already taking advantage of technology to offer virtual tour. And more museums have newly built their digital platforms for showing their connections with high definition 360 cameras or VR films, for some special ones with virtual ticketing. And also like for example, the Art Basel Hong Kong this year, they launched its digital platform, the online viewing rooms, with more than 200 galleries showing over 2,000 pieces of artwork to get in touch with the connectors and the public. Even performances are being live streaming on their theater digital libraries or the social networking platforms. So there are so many these traditional activities, like usually we will see on the sign, but now they all move it to online platforms. And of course, like for digital theaters or travels, lack of the immersive experience or interactions between the performers, the environment, and the audience. But I think we probably should not be limited to just move this kind of art or theaters or the views of the site online, but we can start thinking of creating art or events that's suitable for online audience. And this is actually possible to become a new connection format in the future with nowadays many new technologies and 5G developing. Yeah, that's all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Anna. That was great, despite the slight interruption we had in the technology. Fascinating to hear about the WeChat and the green codes, the health codes thing, which is I'm sure going to be vital for the smooth transition back to some form of normality. And that brings us nicely to the kind of last question that I have for the panel, which is I'm going to point to Jennifer for this. So, what have been the preparations for recovery, both in terms of individual businesses, but also in terms of general public and society and government?
Thank you, Jim. The place I work is FI1 Idea Land. It's a creative industry park. So we have we have 103 companies in this place, and more than almost 4,000 people working here. So what we do, we just help to communicate between the companies and the governments. If government have some new policies, new rules, for this information to all the companies in FI1 Idea Land. And also, we need the company to report the number of employees working in Hubei and Wuhan to us every day. We keep checking, because this is very important to know how many people in Hubei province. And also, Anna just mentioned we have the green QR code. If the people want to enter FI1 Idea Land, they must show us the green QR code. So it's green, so you can go inside. If no, you cannot. And also we help the company in FI1A to buy all the necessaries, such as the masks, the temperature, forehead sterometers, and all the cleanings and everything to help them for the work recovery. And also for my boss, directly give the 50% of the rent for all the companies who rent. We know it's very difficult time for everybody, so we want to help them to reduce the costs for the SMEs, because it's all the company 1A is more SMEs. So I think the cash is very important for the companies. And also after the recovery, and we work very close with the government, like culture, the financial department in Shenzhen. We share all the latest policy to the companies, and also we organizing some online and offline events for policy consultation, because the policy is code to read. So we help the company to understand the government policy, the latest policies. And we also help them to apply for the government's compensation, because the government, they also have some policy special for compensation SMEs. And meanwhile, we're working closely with the bank as well. And we have these events to like one-to-one consultation for company and the bank to help them to get bank loans. This is also important for the cash. And also my colleague working in FI1, they have a visiting program. So they visit all the company one by one to know what's the difficulty from the companies. And we try to unite the SME together to help to link some resources. This is FI1A, what they do. And the government side, they have very good APP as well. They just show me some interesting I want to show to everybody, and but it's in Chinese. This is a kind of APP. Then you can go online. Then you can, if you have you need a request, you can write here. If you have some demands, you also can write over here. So it's a plan to help people to communicate, because information is very important at this time. Mm-hmm. So maybe this company, they have some special this program for the manufacturing, the manufacturing, in that. So and also they have a policies all on this online, so people can check and get the latest information online as well. So I think they do. The government they come to FI1A every week to check fine here or not. So yeah, this is very important, because and also for each company in FI1A, they also need to prepare for special room for isolation, because if find someone get fever or something, the staff may get fever or something, this staff must stay in the isolation room to wait for the ambulance to come. So that's what we do for preparing for the recovery. Yes.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. There's a few things that struck me as very interesting through each of the responses across all the questions. And one thing that I'm keen, and I'm sure other businesses are keen to know, is that you're several weeks ahead of us in terms of the virus peak and curve, and you're coming out the other end. Delighted to hear that China is reporting no further new deaths within the last couple of days, and obviously China has suffered some huge losses, and our hearts go out to you in terms of those losses. But as things are beginning to get back to normal, what does normal look like? Is normal anything like the normal was before the crisis? And in terms of sort of distribution of the workforce, a lot of people working from home over the last few weeks. Do you think we'll get back to a normal where it's far more accepted that people work from home just as normal?
Okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit about this new normal thing, because I think we will inhabit a new normal. And because at least there will be new set of daily habits, like now we are still wearing masks every day, sit apart, and not travel if unnecessary. And people are using more digital tools. The habit of consumers' online experience will be cultivated as well. And also for now, due to the travel restrictions and border shutdowns in the world, such as Hong Kong, all passengers are required home quarantine for 14 days. So I feel disconnect with friends and families as we can't visit each other face to face as normal yet, even though we are like working normal comparatively. And many important plans of the year have to be cancelled and postponed as well. So I think this is the new normal situation, and it might gonna be take quite a long time to get back to a really normal situation. But I would like to keep positive and believe things will get better eventually. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Anybody
for me,
else?
it's because I'm also, sorry.
Carry on.
Hi, Jim. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, because I'm also the role of the mother. So the biggest problem is the school is not open yet. We don't know actually when will be start. Yeah, so all the kids is at home. So they study from home. So it's cannot be. We hope can be normal soon.
Okay. The other thing that I wanted to just talk for a minute about is the government's intervention in China has been swift. From what you're telling us, Jennifer, there's quite a comprehensive program of communications, data gathering, tracking of people's health. Now, here in the UK and in other countries in the West, I think it's fair to say that society is a little less willing to have their data scrutinized. We're used to having our privacy protected, and I think that's one thing that's going to perhaps have to change in terms of Western mindsets. And I'm just wondering about this sort of codes and tracking. Here we've had a suggestion that Google can track us, and I think that will be helpful in terms of tracking the impact of the virus and getting back to normal. I wonder, the Chinese are much more accepting of the government's intervention. Is there lessons there for us to learn? Jennifer, perhaps.
Yeah, we have a old word about like I think the life is the most important thing right now. I think because we also heard from a lot of Western media, and it's about China human rights or something. But we say, if you don't have life, how can you talk about human rights?
Yeah.
I think it's very simple. So yeah, so because we need this QR the data, because this virus is very very dangerous, and you don't know the people maybe who sit opposite to you, he got the virus. You don't know, because this is the problem. So we want everybody be safe. So so that's why the QR code is quite, we think it's quite important. We want to provide something by our own because we want to do something. So the data just a small problem right now, but life is more important.
Yeah. Okay, it's probably a good opportunity to open this up to the audience to ask questions. Now, there is a facility on Zoom, I believe, to click a button and raise your hand. So Rebecca's going to help me with that and watch for hands getting raised. There's also the facility to write in the chat column any questions that you have. So I'm going to invite questions from the wider audience, or indeed if anybody wants to come in and make comments and ask questions directly, just please raise your hand and we can facilitate that. But perhaps just while we're waiting for questions to come in, you know, the Chinese Mandarin, I'm not any expert, as my Chinese friends will tell you. My Chinese is very limited, but I was fascinated to find that the Chinese word for crisis, when it's written in Mandarin characters, translates into English as dangerous opportunity. And there have been some business opportunities during the crisis. So I just wonder if anybody in the panel can maybe point us in the direction of the most surprising business opportunities that have come from this. Not necessarily for profit, of course, but perhaps that have been helpful to community, but also brought up a business opportunity. So,
hi,
Amber.
Yes, actually, I'm working with e-commerce team now. Their business is not affected by the COVID-19, and we are expecting a huge increase this year. So because live shopping become more and more popular in China now, a lot of traditional business actually are trying to use this new form of business. This year, we see a lot of traditional business like car sales, insurances, and other business like malls. They actually ask their salesperson to open an account and sell online and make a very good profit. So this is, I think e-commerce and live shopping is a very new trend or opportunity, especially in this crisis, because people can't go out and shop on site. Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're fast approaching our allotted hour, and I would just like to thank Stephen, Anna, Amber and Jennifer for taking time out to join us here in the UK over the magic of Zoom. And I'm going to just hand back over to Alexa to perhaps say some closing words.
Thank you so much. I think we've had really valuable insights into how companies have managed to support their employees, diversify their business model, keep in touch with their customers and suppliers, and preparing for the new normal. So it's been a really interesting discussion. And I'd just like to say thank you again also to echo Jim's comments. Thank you to our panel of speakers, Stephen, Anna and Amber, and Jennifer as well, and all the team out in Edinburgh Shenzhen Creative Exchange for participating in today's discussion. And Jim, thank you so much for chairing this event. I hope this session has been useful for all our participating members. I'd just like to highlight that at the Chamber, we're still working hard on your behalf to ensure that there's as much clarity as possible around the support that there is available. So please do refer to our COVID-19 support page on our website, and do let us know if we can be of any further assistance to you all. Thank you very much for participating today. Stay safe and goodbye to you all. Thank you.